Hello, welcome back to our space. And now we are going to tell a story, a very famous story that it's named The Elves and the Shoemaker. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, okay? Let's start. Once upon a time, there was a kind shoemaker. Though he worked very hard, he grew so poor that at last he had only enough leather left for one pair of shoes. One winter night, he cut out the shoes, but he was too tired to finish them. He left the leather on his workbench and decided to make the shoes the next morning. The shoemaker didn't know what and his wife would do now that all the leather was used up, for he had no money to buy more. But despite their troubles, the shoemaker and his wife slept soundly that night. Early next morning, the shoemaker woke up and got dressed. He went into the shop to make his last pair of shoes. He picked up his hammer and sat down at his workbench. The shoemaker thought he must be dreaming. He blinked his eyes. He blinked them again, but it was no dream. On the very spot where he left the ladder the night before, there was a finished pair of beautiful, perfectly made shoes. He called his wife into the shop and showed her the shoes. "They are splendid," she exclaimed, "but when did you make them?" "I didn't make them," the shoemaker replied. "I just found them here." The shoemaker put the shoes in the window, hoping that someone would buy them. Soon the door swung open and a fine gentleman walked into the shop. "I must have those wonderful shoes," he said. "I've never seen any like them. The stitches are so small and delicate." The shoemaker sold the shoes to the gentleman, who paid a very high price for them. With the money, the shoemaker was able to buy enough leather for 2 more pairs of shoes. He had enough left over to buy a soup bone for dinner. The night he cut out the leather, but he was very hungry and he could smell the soup his wife was cooking. "I'll make the shoes tomorrow," he said, and he went to eat dinner. The next morning he found 2 pairs of elegant shoes on his workbench. He showed them to his wife. "Who can be making these marvelous shoes?" she said. The shoemaker wondered too. Once again he placed the shoes in the window, and again he didn't have long to wait before the door swung open. This time there were 2 customers, and they both paid the shoemaker handsomely for the shoes. Now the shoemaker had enough money to buy leather for 4 pairs of shoes. Things went on this way for some time. Every night the shoemaker got the leather and went to sleep, and every morning he found more beautiful shoes on his workbench. The shoemaker was growing rich. One evening the shoemaker said to his wife, "It's nearly Christmas, and we still don't know who is making the shoes. We cannot go another day without finding out who is helping us." So, together, the shoemaker and his wife thought of a plan. Instead of going to sleep that night, they hid behind the curtain in the shop. At midnight, 2 tiny elves came into the room. The shoemaker and his wife watched it as amazement, and the elves stitched and sewed and hammered. Soon the bench was filled with shiny new shoes. The moment the work was finished, the elves vanished. Wow, it's astonishing, gasped the shoemaker's wife. It's miraculous, the shoemaker agreed. We must do something for those tiny creatures who have been so kind to us. Well, said his wife, the poor little things had no coats or hats or shoes on. They must get very cold at this time of the year. So, the shoemaker and his wife made two tiny suits for clothing for the elves. The next night they laid the things they had made on the table and once again hid behind the curtain. Just at midnight, the elves came into the room. When they saw the clothes, they were overjoyed. They tried them on and found that they fit just right. The elves danced around the room and sang a merry song. At last, the elves danced out the door and never to return, but the shoemaker and his wife, who had paid back kindness with kindness, never wanted for anything, and they lived happily for a good, long time. Thank you very much. This is the first time that I read a story in English for this space, and I hope that you enjoy it. Have a good night and sweet dreams. Bye.